Cold and windy out here. Guys, thanks for watching the channel. Here's a little something I do on the side. I'll do it for some friends and some other people like that, just because I like to do those type things. I like to do the rigging type applications. But today, we're going to be replacing, see, I'm not all Garmin, although I love it. We're going to be replacing this, the Minn Kota Edge. It's a 12 volt, I think 45 pound thrust trolling motor. Going to be putting a Minn Kota Powerdrive on. The way his boat's rigged up, the pedal and the cable just doesn't fit his applications, and I think probably the Garmin force is a little bit much for his boat. So, but you know what we're gonna do is, hey, look, Minn Kota makes a good trolling motor, and you can't lie about it. They've been making them for a long time, and people still buying them, so they're pretty good. So let's get going. All right, so luckily the hole patterns match up. This is going to be a fairly easy and clean install. If you look down in there, you'll see 1, 2, I don't know how the guy mounted, just a couple bolts, not many. One on the outside right over there. Maybe 3 or 4 bolts maximum. And this trolling motor is for sale. Nothing wrong with it. Good trolling motor. It's just that cable right there. It really gets in with the setup of his boat. This kind of a panfish boat. If you remember, it's kind of like the Terry Bass boat that was sunk in the lake and we found. So first thing you got to do, access that panel to get to the bottom side to get those boats off. Most times they're like a 7/16, and they should be pretty easy to get off, but let's get going. All right, finally got it off. Did end up having 2 additional bolts kind of hid behind that plastic shroud. Sometimes people will put them in there. This one has got 6 bolts holding it down, actually 4 bolts and 2 of the wood screws. Wouldn't, I guess they may be metal screws, but I wouldn't suggest holding your trolling motor down with these, but this person did. But we're gonna fix that. On to the next step, and that is right over here. I'm gonna open this bad boy up. I've already opened it up. This actually a nice trolling motor though. It's a Minn Kota Powerdrive. Yeah, pretty nice setup. It's really good with it. It's got the pedal that just sways back and forth. That's your right and left instead of actually tilting your foot. You just push on the right and left forward. That's your activation pedal. Pretty nice trolling motor. It's as close as you can come to being wireless. Without actually being wireless, that wire is not very much. So let's get this up here. We're gonna mount it up. You'll see that next little step. I'm gonna get it out and get everything undone, and we'll set it up there, and then you'll see that next. All right, we kind of mocked it up. Unfortunately, this is the first time I've ever mounted a Powerdrive. The hole patterns do not line up because of the way this sits off the edge. None of the hole patterns line up. Secondly, whoever mounted that one before, and it wasn't done at the factory, it was done at the boat rigging place, did not use the proper holes. They used the inside holes and the outside holes instead of the outside holes or the inside holes. They use a little bit of both, and these does not have inside holes. Everything's going to be on the outside. So we're gonna have to re-drill some stuff. Not a big deal. It just takes a little time, but we'll get her done. I promise you, we'll get her done. So let's go. All right, we were able to use 2 of the existing holes here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use, you gotta have a minimum of 4 bolts. Use a 9/32 drill bit. Probably gonna go here and here. I'm gonna get as many in there as possible. Actually probably gonna go here. All right, so I was able to use 2 holes that were present, and you need a minimum of 4 bolts. So you can't go real far forward in the front because of the way the deck meets the bottom of the boat. So I'm gonna have to go right here in the back, right there, and I'll drill 2 more, and then we'll see how that. All right, I've managed to get 6 bolts in there. 1, 2, 3 in the back. You can see it right there. Same on the other side. 1, 2, 3. I got the rubber, like a bushing type deal. Keeps it from sitting metal on metal, but when you smush it down, it still keeps it tight. I tend to like those better than those. I don't know why. This gets it a little too high up on the deck. This gets it a little bit more flush to the deck. Keeps it a little bit more secure, in my opinion. I may be wrong. But let's put the side plates back on now. Let's clean it up a little bit, then put the side plates back on, and we'll go to the next step. All right, got the side plates on. Man, it looks pretty sharp. It's a good sharp looking trolling motor. So real easy to deploy, real easy for an older gentleman to deploy. And of course the foot pedal is going to be awesome for him, much better than the big cable driven. As you know, I'm not a big fan of cable drives. But now we're going to wire up the power. Use that, and we're going to use this. He wants to use this. He likes to use this style, so that's what we're going to next. But he had it tied up with tape, and we're not going to do that. We're going to do it a little bit better, a little bit more professional. All right, guys, to show you what I'm doing here. Minn Kota didn't come with a real long wire, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish this wire down through here and come up through here. So I had to add an extension, and I believe when you add extensions, you need to add shrink wrap. It's just better than the little twist nuts. I know these are okay, but I'm not a big fan of them. They come undone, things like that. So we got this on here. Now we're going to fish it up through there and hook it up to his trolling motor plug. All right, still haven't finished running the wires, but I've got everything to a point hid, and it goes down here, and that's where he wants to fit in. Like I said, he doesn't want any more holes drilled in this boat. So working that through it's hard to work around not being able to install it correctly. But it is installed correctly. Pretty cool little feature here. Push this button. It's a little battery indicator. Tells you whether everything's good. Got it all wired. So let's grab the pedal here. Let's grab the pedal. Let's see. Oh yeah. And then you hit this button right here, that right there. And I don't have the prop on, but that's it. Pretty nice, nifty little thing. All right, let's go to the next step, and then I'll show you putting the prop on, and we're gonna have to order a piece. He didn't have the piece ordered that hook up the universal transducer to it, but we're just gonna, we're not gonna wire the pedal down at all. I'm gonna keep it loose. He wants to keep it loose, that way he can move it around. This deck space is small. I'd probably mount it on that angled piece right there. It'd be absolutely perfect right there, but that's not me, that's on him. We'll put the prop on and clean everything up and show you the final finished product. All right, guys, it's all on here. This is a pretty nifty little setup. I do love that battery meter. That is nifty. I like that. Pretty cool. Not very hard to put down. I like the little collar here, little depth collars right there. But pretty simple. You just step on this with your foot, and when you step on it, see how it unlocks it. Now, and then you just flip it over with your hand, and it goes on down. But not that bad. And then when you pick it up, you use this lever to pick it up, and just pull it right on in the boat. The steering is pretty good. Not bad. It's 55-pound thrust. Pretty daggone stout for a 12-volt trolling motor. Interested to see if his battery will, hold up being this, putting out a little bit more thrust like that. He might have to upgrade his battery, maybe not. It's got the old weedless wedge too. Not a bad prop. That prop's always been a good prop. But that's it, guys. Pretty much all said and done. Like I said, we still have this loose cable here that goes to the universal sonar that's in the foot of them. It doesn't hook straight up to the back of Humminbirds. You got to buy it, the little piece, and he hadn't bought it yet, part hadn't come in yet. So hope this is a little fun video. It's a little different video. I do some of this stuff on the side, so you know, hit me up.